अपादमणिपर्यन्तां गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेति न विघ्नपणश्यति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीतनोतु नितरानपेक्षमङ्गलद्वयं निगमशाकिशिखा प्रवालम् ऐरम्बमम्बुर्हडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रहं विघ्नाद्रिभेद शतधारधुरन्धरम् सर्वेषां स्वागतं वेल्कम् टु दि भाष्य सेशन भाष्य सेशन फॉर the 50th 51st and then 52nd shloka. So in this we saw the same continuation, nothing too deep or anything like that. So in the 50th shloka, we saw that Narayano Nama Naro Narana. He is the most famous Chora, Atita Prithivyam. In Prithvi, he is known as the greatest thief. The reason why is because the name and the Tattva has that power to completely draw the soul towards it. And what else can he actually do? He is a chora because he can take away all our sins, or rather, he steals away all our sins. Dhanvantara doshas, whatever it may be, just by taking his name, we are able to, he will take it. He has the ability to do that. That is what the 50th shloka, and in 51st also we see the same thing. Yes, yes, Maranadeva Vasudevasya Chakrinaha, just by smarane of his form. Why Chakrinaha? That can also be asked. Why not Shankha Chakra Gadadhara? We have seen previous. Why Chakra only? It is said that Krishna's Kundalini energy is manifested into Sudarshana Chakra. So that form has the power to destroy all kinds of papa. Therefore, Janmantara Papam Nashyati. When we imagine him as Chakrina, as Chakradhari, Chakrapani. So that is the importance. And then we saw by in the 52nd shloka, Kintasya Bhaubhistirtaihi Kintapobhih Kimadhvaraihi Yo Nityam Dhyayate Devam Narayana Mananya Hihi. So here also the reference is towards Nama Sankirtana. The reason is because even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10:25, he says, Maharshinam Bhraguraham Giramasmyekamaksharam Yajnanan Japa Yajñosmi Sthavarana Himalaya. So the Vibhuti Yoga is particularly known for Krishna directly drawing reference to all the manifested forms. So here, when he says among the different yajnas, there are different kinds of yajnas, dana yajnas, japa yajnas, kriya yajnas, different kinds of in case in fact, even the manifestation of this whole universe is called as yajna. In the previous session, we have also seen how this body uh, giving up the sharira is like a harvest to a particular yajna. That yajna is attaining Narayana Kripa Kataksha. That is also one yajna. So yajna has a very broad meaning in the whole cultural setup. Here, among all those yajnas, what Krishna directly does a reference to, he says that I am Japa Yajños. He says Japa Yajñam Aham Asmi. So among all the different kinds of yajnas, either to please him or for anything else, what is uh, what is the most shrestha, or what is a direct reference to when we say when he's saying he's equivalent to Japa, it practically means that he the most utkrishta, the most shrestha of all the types is Japa. So Japa is continuous chanting of his name. So that is what has been told over here. So again, here when we talk about him as a thief or anything, it is just a manifested understanding of it. But the power of Narayana Sankirtana Smarana is simply that it has the ability to completely absolve you from some kind of sin. This should not be taken as something done to, it is not like washing hands. What we do is we wash our hands, then it gets dirty, then again we wash our hands. So it becomes a routine. This is not something like that. I've already talked about this, where it leads to a trend reversal, which means that we, after initiating into Hari Diksha, there has to be that, it has to be with the pure mind, it has to be with bhakti, and then it leads to a reversal, it leads to a trend reversal, it leads to a thought reversal, and therefore that rewiring, it leads us to more discipline, it leads us to more sadbhavana, having a kind of approach to every form of life, having compassion, having karuna. With that, we approach the thought of a higher power. So, understanding how he is kind to us, how he is uh, compassionate towards us, how he responds to us. We may think something is bad, then we realize, okay, it turned out bad, good for us. There's, I think, one saying also, मन की हो तो अच्छे अच्छा, ना हो तो और भी अच्छा, something like that, which means that if something that happens, if something that I expect to happens, that is good. But if something that I didn't expect, or something that happened against my expectations, then it is better, because it is happening because of his will, not for my, not as per my will. So therefore he has that power, and we usually associate him, because nobody can stay in this samsara without accumulating sins. There are different kinds of sins, but even unexpectedly, when I walk, I put my feet on millions of different living beings, that is, bacteria and all that. So I have resulted in some kind of destruction, I am killing some, but it is unintentional. When there is an argument as to why we need to have uh, plant as against meat, there is an argument as to, even it's been proven that even plants have life. So why are we discriminating like that? That is also killing a life itself. Why? How can we justify vegetarianism against meat eaters? The reason is simply that what we are eating has a very small life. That means the existence, what we can put it into brackets, it has only so much. If it is not eaten, then it fails. That means, if I'm, let us say, I'm taking some green, like dhania, maybe coriander. If I do not consume it, then its life is limited enough that it will go away. So what I'm doing is, yes, I am still consuming life. That is how the system is working. That is how the food chain is working. But I'm doing the least harm in that. I'm not I'm not using force. I'm not using my superiority as a being, asserting it over another living being and trying to dominate my existence over it. So even though it is another life, what I'm doing is, I know that it has a limited existence. Within that existence, I'm making it a part of my meal. Because otherwise it is going to end up as a waste only. But when we talk about animals, meat, etc., their life is much longer. And therefore, we are ending it, somewhere in between, because we want to make it our food. So there that occurs, that doing more harm. Sustainable living practically means not using energy at all. Sustainable use of energy doesn't mean that we do not need the sunlight, we do not use fossil fuels or anything like that. No, sustainable living means using it in such a way that there is least harm caused to the environment. And that is possible in vegetarianism. Of course, there is a food chain and all that. But when there is a debate against vegetarianism and meat eaters, carnivores and herbivores, we are more suited towards more plant-based diet than a human intestine is much more suited towards a plant-based diet as against a meat-based diet. So therefore, we have, I think maybe when we started out, maybe we were suited for that. That cannot be argued. But now that in the present sense, we are more suited towards a plant-based diet. This is medical, this is scientific uh, inference that has been drawn for recent times. And there are many studies where a pure meat-based diet can lead to a lot of deficiencies also in humans. In fact, red meat, which is very popularly consumed in the US and the other Western countries have is known notoriously to increase the risk of colorectal cancer for by around 53 or 60%. So it is extremely because there is there is a lot of parasites that we find in such kind of meat. So humans today are more suited for plant-based diet than a meat-based diet. So it is not a question of why it should not be kept at par, why a plant killing or animal killing that they should not be treated as par. The simple understanding is that let us not do so much destruction as that it starts affecting us back. Least amount required for us to sustain. Of course, it is destruction. In fact, we agree that every manifestation is a part of is due to Parabrahman. So there is a Brahma Tattva in every manifestation. That is the reason we actually bow down to everything. In be it the nature, plants, animals, even stones, everything has Brahman Tattva in it because they have been manifested due to his Icha. So keeping that in mind, we cannot say that, okay, plants do not have any life. But they have, when we talk about the manifestation due to a certain intention, because we already know that Kriya Ichha is what gives rise to manifestation. So the plants, whatever they have, they only have so much of Kriya Ichha. Their Kriya Ichha is to fruit, nothing else. Beyond that, they don't have a Purushartha. Beyond that life, they don't have any kind of sarthakatva. So within that, after they have fruit, after they have bloomed, their life ends. They have come to the fair end of their existence. They have to start their cycle once again. Their cycle can start once again only when they are consumed. Like for example, fruits. When we consume them, we actually help replant the seeds. Like let us take watermelon. Unless the melon is cut open and the seeds are planted again, they are not going to fruit. They're not going to start. A new sapling is not going to start. So the new life is not going to start unless this is open. And the life of that melon creeper is limited. Therefore, it has to be used. So being a part of the cycle is different from completely destroying the cycle. Killing something, rearing it, and killing it has a different meaning. So, therefore, there is a difference with respect to meat-based food chain and then plant-based. There is nobody saying that this is wrong or that is wrong. We are more suited towards it. It's a matter of consciousness. So if somebody wants to eat and they say they justify it, they have already made up their mind that they are going to have it. There is no point in such kind of debates. But when the debate occurs, why can't we put those two together at par? Why can't plant-based diet and the meat-based diet put at par? Because both of them are living beings, and eating both of them should not be treated differently. And this is the reason for it, saying that while when we use the plant-based diet, we are being a part of their cycle. We are actually helping start a new cycle for them. When we trouble animals that way, we are not starting anything new. There is nothing new. When I'm ending an animal's life, I'm not starting anything new. I'm not helping it also start anything new. So being a part of its life cycle is different from ending somebody's life cycle. That is totally what why we are trying to differentiate over here. That's all. Anyway, the whole debate can be different with respect to whoever wants intends to do what. So, not going too deeply into that, just justifying certain stance that we have in Sanatana Dharma, where we have accepted that everything has life, everything is a part of uh, his creation only. The ultimate creator has created everything for a reason, but we are trying to bring about the least destruction to his creation by trying to bring be a part of his creation and the whole cycle rather than disrupt it. That's so. When we see this three shlokas, it is purely with respect to how he has the power to take away all kinds of sins, and then his name has that power. The last shloka is Kintasya Tirtha, we go through any kind of Tirtha Kshetras, do any kind of tapas, etc., etc. Whatever, everything, when we do a Tulavara is like a weighing scale. We put all those things over here, and his Nama is enough to outweigh all these things. So therefore, many people, take up writing Ramakoti. Many people chant his names continuously. Some people take up an oath to chant only his name. Nothing else they can say. Only the name. So there are people who do that. But continuously and with devotion, when his name is chanted, it leads to the end of all kinds of sins, and it will grant us liberation. That is what these us say. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण मही महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि